Hello my profane friends, how are you? You know what I mean? Remember, if you're aware of Freemasonry, you will grow a third eye right here. You know what I mean? That will give you the power to know where all the Freemasons are around the world. Today I've got some exciting stuff. I'm going to show you how big your Masonic army is within your town, within your city. And if you're profane, which is a non-Mason, you tell me if you can raise an army up as big as this. And like I said, there's some other exciting things. I'm going to tell you what the ritual of riding the goat is. Well, we've got the version of what the Freemasons say the riding of the goat. And then we've got the other version, is my version, which is the truth. But just remember, put your navel like that, keep your eye out for that, and then go from there to there. See the square and compass? You see? I mean, you can't put it to your eye. Then you've got the eye on the square and compass, you see? If you've got the benefit of the third eye, you can do it there, you see? But that's the square and compass. Remember that. Put your eye on it. Where am I? Yeah, there you go, look. Square and compass. See? The Masonic signs. Look for the Masonic signs. They're everywhere. Have faith, you know? I mean, I even got aliens doing this type of thing, you know? Okay? So you keep an eye on that. And this is the platform here. Do you know what I mean? Where the pyramid sits on top. Anyway, we'll get more into that later. Great show. I'll show you a ritual of I'm just going to show you how big the army is first, then I'm going to do a bit of the old goat ritual, what riding the goat is, yeah, and some other interesting stuff. Like I said, I stutter a lot. Like I said, I don't normally talk a lot because I'm isolated anyway. You know what I mean? When you've been gang stalked for as long as I have, you get isolated. So let's get on with the show and see how it goes. You know what I mean? This is the Masonic army. Let me get my mic here. I'll bring my mic up here. Hopefully you can hear me. This is the Masonic army and how big it is, okay? So I'm going to jump about a bit here, but we will get through it, okay? Right, this is your Masonic army. Let me start off, right? This guy here, I got a message off him, Richard McCarvery. You know what I mean? Yeah, you check my wall. It was my birthday the other day, March the 19th. You see how many people wished me a happy birthday? Not one. Not one person wished me a happy birthday. You know what I mean? That's no one's fault. You know what I mean? That's just the faults of the Freemasons. See, when you're a perjured individual, they'll gang stalk you, try and isolate you from your friends. And, you know what I mean? So you've got no support network. Do you know what I mean? So if you look on my wall, and on my other account, I've got it marked up for years on end, you see. I've been doing it for over 20 years, yeah. I've got a camera on my door. No one knocks on my door. Obviously they don't now because of the COVID. But I've got things like that, you know, all interesting little stuff like that where they've gang stalked me into total isolation. But there's more on that later. Anyway, let's get down to this. This kid's, look, you really are a nutcase. Now this is what they say about you, yeah. They make everyone a nutcase, you're on drugs. I mean, they say their wives, you know, when their wives complain about them on certain forums, which I've got, the first thing they say is they're lubricated, you know, whatever the word is, on booze and drugs. Do you know what I mean? But they try and make out people are nutty. Look, see, ever 30 years ago perhaps, but that was because coppers were more bent. How did he know coppers were more bent 30 years ago? It doesn't even look like he was old enough to know that. Do you know what I mean? Of course he knows. If they were bent 30 years ago, you think they're all bloody all of a sudden had a change of heart. Of course they're all indoctrinated. They're even more bent today. But yeah, so read that, you know what I mean? And there were just more Masons per head of populace. Yeah, right, it's still more head of populace. I'm not going to prove that to you. I'm reporting this stuff anyway. It's seriously proved to be a bad move, but you are too much of a Fruit Loop to be reasoned with. It's a bad move, man, because I've reported him. Well, I've reported a bit of truth on him. Now I had a choice to delete him or block him, and I chose to reply, yeah, it's proven, and the profane are waking up, and they are. Many more people are waking up to him, and I love it. Anyway, you then go, you are mentally ill, mate, and incredibly delusional, as far wide of the marks but we'll never be able to address the actual problem because you are so obsessed on finding it in places where it ain't. Basically, you're as bad as the bent coppers because you are doing their bidding by creating the smokescreen of lies. An absolute fruitcake. But yeah, that was him, and then he blocked me, obviously. Well, he blocked me twice, do you know what I mean? As long as he got his reply, and then he's, well, I can't get him to what. And then we had this guy here, another one of my fans. I see some of your posts about Freemason. You wouldn't ever beat our society, Stuart. Too strong, too powerful. Of course you're too strong, of course you're too powerful. You've been manipulating yourself all the way around the world from a pub, apparently. A little pub for you, about 4 or 5 men, 7 men, and now you're gang wide. Do you know what I mean? Army wide. You know what I mean? In every acts of society, police, social services, governments, right the way through. And of course, you're too powerful. You took all the businesses. When they die, by the way, they will everything to each other and to the lodge. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. So when the business, you know, they're always rotating the businesses, do you know what I mean, to other Freemasons, do you know what I mean? So you want to run a business, they'll give you the business, do you know what I mean? But they'll run it in Mr. Smith's name or whoever's name, do you know what I mean? Yeah, so this is what I get. There's your Masonic army. Remember, don't mention the white sashes, the ones at Jimmy Savile's funeral. Shh, keep that quiet. But there's the army, the Masonic army, and I'm going to show you how big this army is around the world. Now, these are castles, you see. Now what people do when they invade a country, they build castles and forts in each town, yeah? The reason they build castles and forts in each town is because then they control that town and they control that city, you see, and they protect it, you know, they run the town, you know what I mean? So that's what they do. So these are these are actually English castles, yeah? So when England got invaded and there was wars, blah, 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 this is the lords and the dukes and the earls, they called it, but now instead of calling them castles, they're called Masonic lodges. See, now this is the Royal Britain, right? So when you're royalty, they build like cathedrals and all this sort of stuff, you see. If I better enlarge that a little bit for you guys. So they build, you know, they build big buildings and stuff, you see, right? So now, instead of calling them, now this is Masonic lodges, okay? This is the Grand View system, public lodges that are in Indianapolis on the east coast or on the east side of it, say, yeah? Okay, oops, sorry. So that's all them there are Masonic lodges, okay? I'm not going to show you honestly how big this army is. Now that's not the ones on the left side or the right side or in the north or anywhere else around the country, yeah? This is just one section, okay? Right? Now they're castles. See, this is the near side, this is the Grand Lodge, yeah? First met in 1717, right? So from 1717 they've got met in a pub, right? Which is obviously the Templars. And they've all gone out on crusades, blah blah blah, and now they're worldwide in everything. There's more Masonic forts, yeah, or gatekeepers, whatever you want to call them. You know what I mean? This is in Upper Peninsula. See, these are Grand Lodges, yeah. Then you've got provisional lodges, yeah, which is for the, I say lower, but what I mean by lower, that's like say like provisional Grand Lodges will go up to say Master Mason, then you've got Grand Lodges that go, you know, beyond that, if you get what I mean, you know. So they have all different type lodges. Like I said, they have chapters as well. There's chapter lodges, you see. So in these lodges here, this Grand Lodges, there'd be all different chapters, up to 30 chapters with 50 men in each, do you know what I mean? Maybe 100, 150, depending on the size of the lodge, do you see what I mean? But that's your army, you know. And yeah, there's Britain, that just some of the lodges in Britain. Can you believe it? Look at that. You know what I mean? And that's not all of them. Do you know what I mean? Don't worry, I'll get to it. We're getting there, because I see Freemasons, and I mean Freemasons everywhere. And they're everywhere. And just because they ain't got a thingy, and this guy, he's been an honorary member of every lodge in the world. And why would they put, leave it to me? Yeah, the devil, the goat, you know? If I had my way, I'd just put a few hours in him. But anyway, that's more likely what they're going to do to me, let alone. But I'll leave that there. I'm going to leave that there. I need to go back to this page now. Here we go. Look, now here's more Masonic army, yeah. And they start this army off young, yeah. You've got Demole for boys, which are young. Okay, I'll go into that, I think, just to give you a little browse. I think that'll give you an idea. You've got Job's daughter. Sorry, I'm jumping about. It's my bloody wheel. It's giving too much stick on it. You've got Job's Daughters for girls, and then you've got International Order of the Rainbow for girls, yeah? And this is all the young, you know, all the young. They recruit from right down below. You know, you can go into the Anti-Mason, come to the site, it's on here, Freemasonry Network, you know, the youth organisation. That'll give you an idea just how vast they are. These are the... Now, for the anti-Freemasonry, yeah, that is made known to non-Masons, do you know what I mean? Yeah, and they'll give you, like, we'll call anti-man, they call us trolls and bloody with a profane and all that. But if you look at my forum, over and over again, we are the hated profane, do you know what I mean? So if you're fighting them, good luck to you, know what I mean? But they have these look, they've got regular lodges, they've got the liberals, they've got the together, the allied, and then they've got the other, right? I'll show you some of these as well. Like the allied is just the what do you call it? The here I go, the voice, my bloody brain's gone again. The Shriners, yeah, but Shriners are in just because they're prevalent driving their little cars in America. They're all over the place. They're in the UK, you know. You got the Shriners. They've still got the same ranking system throughout the world, yeah. So they're Shriners just because they ain't wearing their hats in the UK. They're Shriners, yeah. So yeah, so you've got mixed orders, you know, these are all the different rites. Scottish Rite, York Rite, they're the most popular, everyone knows about them, but you've got other ones, you know, like the Woman's, you've got mixed orders, you know what I mean? There's all types, yeah, they mix it as well, do you know what I mean? But none knows what the other one's bloody doing, if you get what I mean. Okay, now you got, these are the women's orders, yeah. Remember, women are just as bad as the men. Don't be thinking they ain't, they are. You got Right Shrine of Jerusalem, Order of Amaranth, and Daughters of the Nile, yeah? So that's 3 more there, do you know what I mean? Remember, they've got so many recruits, yeah? They have to make up all these other side degrees and all that, because they haven't got the room to bloody compensate for all the memberships there, you know, all the recruitment they're doing, do you know what I mean? So they have to make all these up. But you've got to, you know, come to the site and read it yourself. Do you know what I mean? It's all there in black and white, okay? But I don't want to stick around on this. So I'll try and make it an hour. And but this is masonry in the world, yeah? Again, this is all masonry from around the world. Look, yeah? So it's all there. You know what I mean? Look, famous lodges you can go to. Freemasonry by city or a town, by country, by continent. Do you see what I mean? And that's the whole, do you know what I mean? The whole world. They're in a world, or a place in the world that you ain't getting a Freemasonry, yeah? We're free by continent. Let's have a look. Always stay united, and they always stay united. It don't matter where they are in the world, these people will stay together and unite together against the profane, which is you if you're a non-Mason. Do you know what I mean? You are, believe me, you are not even, look, Africa, Asia, Australia, Europe, North America and Latin America. I've got a few Australian friends, so I'll do that. I'll click on that. And here we go, look, Freemasonry Austria by geographical area. I'll open these up just for my little friends in Australia. Well done to those who helped me. You know who you are. Okay. Everything about, yeah, and there's obviously the Masonic Round Table, and there's a video there. I'm not going to get into the video. But you have a look, and like I said, you'll know how big your army is in Australia. See, so it's all there. Do you know what I mean? It's Queensland. It's videos to watch. They tell you how big their army is. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. And this is the thing. It's in each and every country. I mean, I haven't even started yet. This is like Freemasons New South Wales enact United Grand Lodge of Queensland. See, they always have a United. There's always a United Grand Lodge, yeah, which is the head of the country. Yeah, which is, ours is the ugly, oh no, not the ugly, the Oogle, or the Uggle, which is the United Grand Lodge of England, and this one's the United Grand Lodge of Queensland, but they answer to the Uggle. Everyone answers to the Uggle in Britain. And then you've got the Grand Lodge of Mark Master Masons of Queensland. You see what I mean? So they always have a Grand Lodge, and then they have Provisional Lodge, and then they have lodges in, you know, side chapters and all that. Do you see what I mean? So that's what that's all about. But that's Australia, I thought, and you can come and have a look yourselves anyway. I just want to skip through this. Like I said, they're always together. You've got liberal Freemasonry in Australia as well. See, there's so in just Freemasons, it's different types. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, and you've got others like this, unrecognised lodges and obediences, occult Freemasonry. Again, they'll just spill whatever they want for that to make themselves look good. Just to list of American fraternities and ritual-based organisations. You know what I mean? Most of them would be schools, but here you go. Look, there they are. Look, see what I mean? These are all the side degrees and things like that. You know what I mean? See, that's the Buffaloes. That's all Masonic. They can call it what they want. All of these, yeah, all these orders, whatever you call it, they're Freemasons, regardless of what they call it. Do you know what I mean? The Ku Klux Klan, Freemasons. Do you know what I mean? BLM, Freemasons. Do you know what I mean? And that's all it is. But they're all like Knights Templars and all that sort of thing. Demole, you know, blah blah blah. But at the end of the day, to be anything or whatever, you have to go through the first 3 rituals. You know what I mean? Fellow Craft, Enter the Apprentice, Master Mason. These are the ones that go high, but they're all just Freemasons, and they're all on the same level. Do you know what I mean? Anyway, so that's that. Yeah, you're not a Grand Lodge. That's the biggest one. Do you know what I mean? They every lodge answers to them. Prince Hall is the black guys, you know, the coloured guys. And then you've got, yeah, like I said, that's England, Wales, Scotland, but they all answer at the Grand Lodge, the Ugal. You know what I mean? And that's where your Blood Prince comes into it. You know what I mean? Oh, sorry, I've gone back into that. Oh, I don't know what I've done there, mate. You know what I mean? Oh, we're in trouble here. What do I do? I'll just click that down. I know where to get back to it anyway. Right, so yeah, so have a look. You know, the site's there. Freemasonry Network, the regulars, not a Grand Lodge, yeah? Well, let me shut that down. Now, I'll go forward a little bit here. No, not there. I want to go here. Now, this is the England lodges, okay? This is all the areas. Look, all of these. This is just England, by the way. Look, okay. Now, like I said, you'll have the Grand Lodges, right? Yeah. So if we take, say, Essex, for instance, open that up. We'll go Gloucestershire. We'll go Hampshire and Isle of Wight. I'll just pick a few out. London, PQ, blah blah. Now look. Oh yes. Look what they've done to me. Oh my God. They must have known. They couldn't have known. No way. Oh yeah, yeah. Oh God, bloody hell! I thought. Oh, so what was that one? What you couldn't look at? Oh mate, what was that one? I'll have to go out and look at it later. But see, I had to use a password for that one. That was a bit of a naughty. That was. I thought they stopped me. But look at this. This is in Hampshire and Isle of Wight. Look at these lodges. Just see what I'm saying? Look at that. Lodge of Hospitality, Lodge of Hope, you know, that all sorts. Do you know what I mean? Look. The Wessex Lodge of Fidelity, Loddon, you know what I mean? These, I think the highlighted ones here are the you know, the main for that area. Do you know what I mean? Like Anton, everyone answers to Anton in this sort of court. Do you know what I mean? So they, you know, so you get that, like the Lodge of Augustine, and then they answer to that, if you know what I mean. And then they obviously have their meeting together, and then they answer to this lodge. Do you know what I mean? The main lodge, their Grand Lodge, if you get what I mean, yeah. Because it always goes up the triangle. Do you know what I mean? So basically, if to put it in simple terms, privates meet with with the corporals, then the corporals have a meeting, and then they answer to the master, so the sergeants, which is the 3 stripes, and then the sergeants will answer to the captains. Do you see what I mean? And then the captains will answer to dum dum dum, and that's how it goes. Yeah, goes up the triangle. This is Lodges of London. Look at this. Look. And look, like I said, look, Royal Navy, Anti-Aircraft, Royal Navy College. Do you know what I mean? They've got the Navy, they've got the Army, they've got the Air, they've got air, land and sea, and they run it all, believe me. You know what I mean? There ain't nothing they don't own anywhere, in any country, in any sea, in any land. Yeah, that's how big your army is. Look at it, massive, massive. You know what I mean? So you just think, if you put 1,000 men on each of them, which is, and trust me, there's a lot more than 1,000 in these lodges. You know what I mean? You imagine the numbers. You know, his favourite Norfolk lodge here, look, the Norfolk, yeah. Ding ding, look at that, unreal, isn't it? Look at how many lodges are in Norfolk. Unreal. I think there's 20 chapters just in one lodge here alone. Do you know what I mean? We've got a couple of lodges as usual, like everyone else, but just in one lodge alone there's 20 chapters below that, and that's not without the side degrees what go in there as well. Do you see what I mean? Just madness. Hey, these have got all the, and you think that's just started off in a pub and they invade you? They're not an invading army or a gang? Come on. wake up, wake up. This is why they outvote. They just put anyone in who they want in charge, and it's Freemasonry on all sides. Whether you're voting Tory, Conservative, whatever, it's all Freemasonry. They run each and every side of every party. You know what I mean? Yeah. Look at this map here again. Look, complete lodges, list of lodges in Virginia. Yeah. Well, these are the lodges here. Yeah, in Virginia. Yeah. And if I go in, look, you'll see them spaced out, but they're the main lodges. Do you see what I mean? Okay. You can come and see it yourself. Look, it's there, grandlodgeofvirginia.org. Yeah, I don't think that'll be here long though. After I post this, that'll be gone. They'll go, oh, we made a mistake here. We better not. And they'll do that. Look at these lodges. Look. Okay, so I'll mark it here just so you get an idea, right? And then I'll scroll down. Oh, see, look. So that's one. That's there. Look, and then I'll mark it here. Look. And there's another. See. And I'm not even counting them, do you know what I mean? Oh, it's gone up above 2, they are, see? Go like that, blue and highlight it, down again, blue and highlight it down here. So you think how big that army is, and I ain't even, look, I'm not even halfway, I'm not even halfway, do you know what I mean? Look at that, how many lodges are in there, look. And you think if there's even if there was 100 men, right, in each of them little lodges, just 100 men, okay? Now you think how many men, right, that army now contains that'll stand against you tooth and nail, lie for them to get out of court, or any God, it's just unreal, man. Look at, you know, but look at that. It's just unreal. Look, it just goes on. In fact, what I can do, oh, I'll just give it a count. I don't know how many times I've done that though. Oh dear, never mind. But let's go again. If I just pull that down a little bit and just get a count on that, so it'll be 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. So I'm doing 20 at a time, just over well over 20. Say it's 30 lodges for each skull, and I've done, God, that's the numbers. That's unreal. I'm not very good at maths, so I do it like off the top of my head. Right, anyway, but look at that. Look at the numbers, them lodges. Do you know what I mean? Look at that. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Yeah, 14 lodges, 15 lodges there. Do you know what I mean? If that's 15 lodges with 100 men, that's 1,500 men, right? Yeah, and I've done that. I don't know how many times I count, you know. We'll go back on the video where you can count it yourself, guys. You know what I mean? But you think if it's just 100 men in each lodge, and there ain't, we're talking thousands. You know what I mean? Because we're talking side degrees as well. You imagine how big that army is. Do you know what I mean? Massive. Look at that. And that's just it. Look, and if I scroll out, that's just there. Do you know what I mean? In the United States. Do you know what I mean? Crazy. And that's the main lodges, don't forget. Do you know what I mean? You're not even talking about the other lodges, you know, like for Mark Masters or anything like that. Do you know what I mean? And the side, you know, all the side chapters, you're just talking the main lodges. Do you know what I mean? Look at that. What an army. Do you know what I mean? Unreal. I think I'll give you some numbers here, actually, to be honest. Let me have a look, just see if I can. It does give you something here. See, look, area of Masonic ritual schools. Yeah, they run the schools. They want to run the schools because the people that are going to be controlling you are going to be trained by them. Do you know what I mean? They train them in the schools early, you know. Just a very, look, Masonic schools. You see what I mean? Unreal. While your kids are getting dumbed down in their real schools, you know what I mean? They're getting the proper skills. Do you know what I mean? So you got to have two master masons. You see what I mean? Vouch for you. You know what I mean? Because if you ain't getting any of that, you ain't getting in. If your face don't fit or you've done something to them, you ain't getting anywhere. Do you know what I mean? But there's your army. Do you see what I'm saying? That is your massive army. So when I say army, I mean bloody army. And that army carries swords, look. Yeah. Now, if back in the day when you had a few men, which was less in the, you know, in the wars and that, I mean, you got, you know, like you got 12 a dozen knights on horses. They used to wipe a village out with swords, didn't they? But now they got guns. They still carry the swords, but you imagine they all armed themselves with swords, and you ain't got a gun because you live in the UK. They're going to sort you right out. Do you know what I mean? You know. But like I said, they got guns. They get the licenses because they know the policemen, and the policemen give them their little grants. You know what I mean? All their brothers. So they all got shotguns and God knows whatever else. So they got guns. They defend themselves. But the normal for trained people, you ain't get shh, you get nothing. They'll keep you quiet. Do you know what I mean? Find any excuse not to harm you, trust me. But yeah, they carry the weapons. They got the weapons, they got the guns, they got the money. Look, are you buying places like this? No, but the Freemasons are, because all their money is willed to themselves time and time again. Millions and billions of pounds, yeah? They've been doing that centuries. Look at that army, look. Look at that. But look at the building. Look here. Look at that. There he is, look. Top man. You know what I mean? That's who everyone is looking for, and to protect the royal family and the elite bloodlines. You know what I mean? And it just comes down, and they're paid well for it. You know what I mean? When they get up to Master Masons and that, they're getting like 100 grand straight in the bank. Do you know what I mean? For the years of services and that, so they're paid well, you know. And not just the men, the women too. Don't forget the women. You know what I mean? Look, Masonic buildings. You know what I mean? Look, it's crazy. They can afford it. They got the money. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, there's the women. Look, look. See, the women are just as proliferate, whatever that word is, proliferant, whatever the word is. I can't remember what the word is, but they're just as bad. And I'm talking about young, old, do you know what I mean? They're just as bad as the bloody men, do you know what I mean? They'll say they ain't, but they are, trust me. They'll back up the men as bad as the men will chat. Yeah, look, that's just watching you. There he is, look. You see that on my badge for the first time? The Masonic eye, watching you. But yeah, that's what that's all about. Anyway, I'm going to shut that one down. Moving on again, because obviously, oh, shh, I shouldn't have shown you this. Never mind. Now we're here, I'll show you. Paedophile Mason ran a lodge set up for GCHQ. Now you imagine that man with all his Freemason brothers under him, running the spies, a spy network. But you're not just got the spy. They're not just running the spy network. They're actually running the police and everything like that as well within. You know, everything from the top down. Don't matter what it is, right down to your milkman. Do you know what I mean? Right down to your milkman. And again, you just come and read that yourself. Do you know what I mean? I don't even need to, you know. But think of that, a spy. Do you know what I mean? It's in the 1980s. It's only a couple of decades back, and these have been at it, not decades. These have been at it centuries. Do you know what I mean? Getting in all the positions where they can work to, you know, push you, the profane, out of jobs and out of society, so they can take control. That's why they got these hats on. See, with the floor, with the checkered floor. But look at this geezer, look. I'm done, Britain. Yeah, when a copper pens a heartfelt resignation letter like this, it shows we live in a warped and broken society. Yeah, and the reason he left, yeah, is because of the Freemasonry within the police. You know what I mean? He knows he ain't getting nowhere because of the cover-ups and that. Yeah, he knows it. Come and read us. Just search for "I'm done with Britain." You know what I mean? The copper, boom, boom. It's on RT Questions and more. Yeah, I think that's all over the bloody news. But you won't see it because they give it. Shh. We don't want people knowing this. They won't print this sort of stuff. Do you know what I mean? Look, I've done at the Sarah individual. See, he's done it at the vigil. Look, whatever happened there, I don't know. You know, come and read it. He left. He knew. You know what I mean? And I'm done. I'm done with duplicitous liars and twisters of the truth in Parliament. See, he knows. Freemasonry in Parliament, who destroyed policing to further their own careers, right? I'm done with those charlatans of snake oil salesmen and women who spread their bile, whose acid eats away at society, its value and its future. I'm done with utter lack of consequences on their corruption, and there ain't no consequences. You know, you catch a pedo in Parliament or fucking police force or whatever, and they're Freemasons. First thing you're going to do is shut it down and shush up anyone and everything, and that, whether that's with money, threats, or whatever else, yeah, or with a suppression order. Do you know what I mean? And that goes in the bank for 100 years. Do you know what I mean? And they put it in a suppression order because it could do seriously damage to the profane, which is you. Do you know what I mean? How that would damage you knowing who the actual paedophile was is amazing, you know. But anyway, I'm done with the duplicitous lie, twisters and the truth of the media and journalism. We all know they lie, but you still put your news on. You still buy your paper. Don't buy your paper. Don't read the news. Do you know what I mean? Go turn it over. Don't buy the news, the Sun or whatever. Blah blah blah. Just go, you know, go alternative. You know, buy yourself a Beano, you know, or a Dandy. Do you know what I mean? You get more sense out of that than you will any newspaper. You know, I'm done with the 24-hour news, their Twitter echo chambers, their pile-on tactics and agendas to invent the next big story or extend the life of an old one. I'm done with their sickening pretense they are on some crusade to make the world a better place. See what I mean? They're not on a crusade to make the world a better place. Well, they are a better place for themselves, yeah, and that's called Freemasonry, yeah. Everyone who's profane, you will pay your fines, you will go to court. Freemasonry, little handshake or a little scribble on a bit of paper, and the case is shut down, squashed, I promise you now. And they're standing there with the top boys, drug dealers, fucking heavy, serious criminals, do you know what I mean? And they're standing side by side, drinking in the pub, you know what I mean? Blatant as anything, do you know what I mean? Not giving two tosses about the profane. And everyone who's, getting served up their drugs, they're laughing with them, going, yeah, that's only cost the geezer, he's raking in like hundreds and thousands of pounds, and that's only cost him 2 points to gain someone's respect, and then maybe he's punched someone in the head to gain their respect. How stupid some profane people are, I don't know. Anyway, I'm dying society's corrosive special interest groups who want to be on top of the victimhood ladder and to prepare the world and anyone different to them to ensure they are head above anyone else, which is Freemasonry. Their constant screaming for attention, even more fanatic claims that bear no scrutiny, but which they know they will never be challenged on, because cancel culture, do you know what I mean? Anyway, yeah, come and have a look. That's he says it there, an Orwellian practice of recording non-crime hate incidents that blacklist children for thought crime must end. See what I mean? It's all there. You know what I mean? That's a policeman. Do you know what I mean? Well, yeah, sacking himself. You know what I mean? Sorry, like I said, I've been isolated many years, and I don't really talk to a lot of people. So I find it hard to talk. You know what I mean? I'm more of a silent type. You know what I mean? But unless I'm messing about. But there you go. That's another story. So come and read that for yourself. I need to keep that just so I can put it on my site myself. That's a geezer I watch for the Octagon. Now I'm coming at here some gang stalking. See if you just talk out, yeah, right. And these people ain't. You got Brian Harvey. If you haven't seen and watched him, go watch him. Yeah, he's a veteran gang stalk. He's a veteran gang stalk. Been stalked for years. Yeah, because he went into a red room, saw a load of children. And then, he's seen some stuff what he shouldn't have done, and they've stalked him. And it's Freemasons, that's all it is, just Freemasons. But he never names it as Freemason, but he names it BBC. He knows it's the BBC. He knows it's Parliament and Boris and that, but he keeps saying Boris. That's not Boris, it's Freemasonry. They're the ones hounding him. They're the ones who are stalking him. Do you know what I mean? So come at my forum. Again, you've got a lady stalking. It's all sorts. James Todd, he's an old one. I spoke to him on the phone many years ago, and he goes back to, I think it's the 70s and 80s. I was talking to him. You know what I mean? Second Family, I was a part of that as well. I've got Derek and Kathleen Ryder, another couple of nice people. But again, get into it. I'll tell you everything you need to know about gang stalking and what Freemasonry can do just to shut you up. You know what I mean? Just to hound you out of a job, you know what I mean, or whatever, you know what I mean, because they pick who works and who don't, because they own all the jobs. So, you know what I mean, they hire and fire anyone in any town and city. You're a whistleblower, they'll hound you out of the job because they don't want you there, because they want the shh, keep you quiet, don't shh, we don't want people to know about us, no shh, you know what I mean, they don't need it, do you know what I mean? I mean, this Kathleen, you read this, this is where they go to the doctors, yeah, for within the health service, yeah. Again, the doctors are, like I said, Knight Templars and all that. Always ask. Do you know what I mean? Because if you are a victim, yeah, and they victimise you for centuries, you ain't just your family. It can go down the line. Do you know what I mean? And you could be victimised because you're part of a feud or something what went back in your past. You know what I mean? They'll gang stalk you for it, but people don't realise this. These people, yeah, they've got records on you, yeah, from when the day you were born to the day you die and go to your coffin. Do you know what I mean? Because they got access to to everything. You know what I mean? Whether it's the police, councils, they got access to it all. Yeah, and it just takes one person to ask, and they get it, whatever they need. And they know the ins and outs of you, including your medical history, everything. Yeah, so just like you got your doctor and it's private, no, it ain't. That doctor, he's a Freemason, and then if that master or whatever wants to know what you're there for, they'll go and get your records. Do you know what I mean? Trust me. And if you're being gang stalked, like I said, you can't pick up every who's ever, like me. I could spot most of mine because I've done this a long time. But if you ain't aware of it or what's going on, all it takes is for them to give one photograph, take a picture and pass that around. Do you know what I mean? Especially today's, you know, with a phone, you can quick as lightning. Do you know what I mean? Say, oh, this, that and the other based on. But back in the day, it used to be a photograph. They'll pass it around the lodge. Everyone would incur it to memory. That's what, you know, they're used to that, yeah. You know, memorising things. And then you'd be stalked. It doesn't matter where you went into a pub, they recognise you like that, and then they make your time, so you'd leave the pub or you'd leave your job if they, you know, a particular job or anything like that, you know. That's what they do, you know. But this one, you know, the doctor actually got into this, yeah, which I think was a Freemason, you know. And again, I've done that in the past where, you know, doctors can mess up with your medicine, do you know what I mean, and you make your treatment just to make your life horrible. You know, when you hear about these people, oh, I was, you know, I've heard it so many times, you know, give me these drugs, they made me trip and do this and do that, do you know what I mean, it's horrible, I got the horrors, you know. That's not maybe that he's made a mistake. It's because he knew what he's frigging doing and he wanted to make your life hell, do you know what I mean? But people go, oh, and push it off, oh, the doctor this and that, and it never gets mentioned, do you know what I mean? But he's more than likely a Freemason doing it through someone else who knows you're gone in there and is doing a favour for him, do you know what I mean? That's how it is, you know. Like some people get smacked in the mouth, they go, well, I don't know why I got that for, why he smacked me in the trap. That's because someone's fucking, you know, a Freemason and someone's doing him a favour, do you know what I mean? Get you robbed, you know, whatever it takes. That's what they do, you know. They get in between your family, you know, seduce your seduce your partner so she becomes your ex-partner, do you know what I mean? That's the ones you got to watch, you know. And that's man and female, it don't matter which side it is, you know. Anything to destroy your life. And it doesn't go on every day. They do it every 6 months, every year, every 2 years, 3 years, you know. You'll build yourself up. Say you lose a girlfriend, right? You know, someone took, you know, someone flirted with her, a Freemason took her away. You then get yourself another girlfriend, yeah. Say you get to marry her, have a kid and that, then they'll do the same thing again and split your family up. Do you know what I mean? Just as in revenge. Do you know what I mean? That's what they do. They're sick. You know what I mean? Brian Harvey, check him out. You know what I mean? A veteran, like I said, he's a veteran. Has been gang stalked for many years, but I don't know if he knows it's Freemasons. I'll try to connect to him, but I can't, you know. Like I said, when you get someone who's this like his stage, you know what I mean, you don't trust no one, you know. And I get that, you know what I mean. It's hard, you know what I mean. But again, if you search up I forgot her name now, Michelle, whatever her name is, I can't remember her name, but I've got an article on here. I can't remember her bloody name. I'll come back to that. Then you got Joe Sterling, another, you know, he was gang stalked for many years. I spoke to him on the phone, I warned him, and like I said, everyone who said they were a victim of Masonic gang stalking, yeah, right, literally was a Freemason. Do you know what I mean? That's how, you know, that is how bad, do you know what I mean? He was, you know, but I told him and I warned him, you know, but you can only do so much. But look, challenging Freemasonry tyranny, yeah. So it's isn't just a new thing. This has been going on years, but they shut up. Shh, they shush it up. You know what I mean? This guy, come and see him, Henry Macko. He knows the score on Freemasonry. We're not posting this and saying this stuff for nothing. It's a fact. You know what I mean? These are facts. You know what I mean? You won't get this on the news though, because the news of Freemasonry, you know, the BBC, Freemasons, Anglia, Channel 4, all Freemasons. If you ain't a Freemason, you ain't getting on TV anyway. Do you know what I mean? Trust me on that. You know what I mean? Anyone who's got a word, you ain't getting anywhere unless you're batting for the other side. Do you know what I mean? People like me, you know, Brian Harvey, you know, I mean, the corruption on him just alone. You know what I mean? Regardless, or Joe Sterling, you ain't getting a voice. Do you know what I mean? You ain't getting anywhere. But trust me, Freemasons don't make any man better. Do you know what I mean? And if they do, come and step up. Anyone in my town can step up and I'll go head to head with them. A live interview. Do you know what I mean? Especially my little gang stalkers, they wouldn't though. Of course they won't. Shh, they want to keep that quiet. But there you go. What happens to when a small group of men form a satanic secret society, exploit the rest? what happens when this groups become so powerful, and that's your Freemasons, that it cannot be criticised. And it can't. Freemasonry can't be criticised. It's shushed up. And when it is, the person's mad, he's insane, he's on drugs or whatever. You know, you see it, read it, you get it all day long. Go to my forum. So what happens when a small courageous group, support group, second family, challenge its hegemony, oh, I can't get it. Hegemony, what? Oh well, anyway, you get the idea. You come and read it for yourself anyway. Remember, I love you all. Right, Joe Stell and a few fellow Glasgow residents tried 10 years ago, this was, yeah. Now, I was here and I was part of this group, do you know what I mean? But I had the sense to keep on the outskirts of it, you know what I mean? I rung Joe a couple of times and obviously messaged him and different bits and pieces. Well, I always stayed on the outside. I never, went full frontal with it, because I knew, like I said, you cannot trust anyone. If you're a stalked, where Freemasons have got eyes and ears and everywhere, and all I did was keep my mouth shut, carry on, do what you want to do, and here's a shovel. And you just don't take that shovel off the people that are burying themselves. Do you see what I mean? And that's what I've done. And I've done it for many years, over 2 decades, you know. And this just doesn't go for me. They destroyed my family, do you know what I mean? But it's another story. I ain't getting into that yet. Anyway, yeah, if I do ever die under any circumstance, suspicious or whatever, just ask for my gang stalking files and my diaries, you know what I mean, and you'll little big reveals coming of what sort of army controls this town. Anyway, no organisations, right, in 2000, we are Second Family, have planned to put all victims' stories online, yeah, because that's what they do. They victimise people. If they want a job, they'll victimise you out of the job so their person will get in, you know what I mean? They do all this. They job preference people, but these were really bad, you know what I mean? Anyway, society's rotten to the core with this poison. You see what I mean? This is Freemasonry. Freemasonry must be stopped. You know what I mean? And this is what they did, you know. But yeah, and he sent a letter, and this is a private letter. I'm going to read it out because, like I said, I'm trying to skip through this and get to the, you know, like obviously the rituals and that. But I just want you to all wake up to this. Yeah, this is what Freemasonry do. Yeah, and if you speak out about it, and when you get to that point, yeah, and you wake up of what's going on, whether you're dealing with social services. You're not dealing with social services, you're dealing with Freemasonry, yeah? Well, it's the council, do you know what I mean? And they answer to the Freemasons. And if the Freemasons have got your child, yeah, then you ain't getting that child back, because the court, when you go to court, the family court will be run by Freemasonry. And if that family likes your child and falls in love with it, you ain't getting it back easy. They'll keep it, do you know what I mean? Plus there's the money side of it as well. Most of the people that are actually fostering, if you check, will be Freemasons, because they get the money for it, you know what I mean? There's a lot of money in it. And where do they claim all that money from? The government. You see what I mean? It's all run for themselves. But yeah, do the research. It's there, you know. But anyway, to prove what I say, you know, he got loads of evidence, do you know what I mean, on these people, you know. Look, see what I mean? Look, my next point with the look, they've tried to kill me many times, and they do. That's, you know, they want you dead, they'll do it, you know. I'm not safe, no one's safe, do you know what I mean? I'm maybe a bit little safe because they can't martyr me, because they don't know what information I've got and what I have done. You see what I mean? So they can't martyr me, but they can kill me, but that wouldn't go to rest. Do you see what I mean? Because the first thing, someone will be on their roof with a banner with, you know, certain links and, you know, and certain things of, you know, what they can't cover up. Do you know what I mean? Too many people, you see, in the know. So they can't martyr me, but they can kill me. There's no, you know, they've got no two ways. Like I said, they don't go by, oh, a thingy, but that'll blow it, you know, in 10 years that'll be forgotten about. Do you know what I mean? Dun, 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 and that's how they go, you know, in 100 years. You know what I mean? That'll be forgotten about. Because if you ain't listening to this or know about it or hear about it, when you've never heard of Second Family, for instance, or not Joe Stalin, see my voice, man, vomit, you know, any of that, then what are the chances of you hearing about me getting killed? Do you know what I mean? Because I ain't no Hollywood star or anything. Do you know what I mean? And I know they tried to kill me many a time. They talked about it many a time. You know what I mean? They, you know, they were going to do a straight off shot at me. You know what I mean? I can't go into some of this, but you know, let's put it this way: they wanted to, you know, they got to make it an accident. Do you know what I mean? Because they can't martyr me. Do you know what I mean? Because straight away, that'll go straight to their doorstep. Do you know what I mean? But anyway, that's another story, and I don't want to get into that at the moment. right? You know what I mean? See, this is what they do. I've been poisoned several times. You go to their restaurants, do you know what I mean? And you got a Freemason in the back. They know them, boom, boom, and you're a mark. Fiddle with your food, man. Trust me, they'll fiddle with your food. Yeah. So yeah, they kill your dogs. They do all sorts. It's all here. You know, read it. It's no. He ain't lying. You know what I mean? You only got to read, like I said, these stories. Yeah, Brian's. You know what I mean? And they name the people who it is. Do you know what I mean? You know, Freemasons are gangsters, yeah? And they all say that they all have the common denominator. And that's Freemasons. You know what I mean? James Todlett. And he started up Victims of Masonic Ill Treatment, you know, and his story's here. Go read it. And he's back in the 70s and 80s, do you know what I mean? And they say the same scripts. He's mad, he's crazy, he's a fruit... Oops, sorry, got a bit of an hiccup. So, saying the same thing over and again. Fruit Loop, he's crazy, do you know what I mean? But he was a victim of Masonic ill treatment, you know, because that's what they do, you know. Total evil. You know, again, Freemason fraternity men, you know, come and read it. It's there, the whole lot. You know, run the councils, you know, everything. It doesn't matter what it is. And you're fighting for your freedom, you know what I mean, the future and your freedom. We all have to expose these crooks. Everyone, please, copy, send, distribute, fax, email this information. And the information is all there. Do you know what I mean? All the information's been done for you to do, you know, for you to actually just read and learn and then know. You know, they are the ultimate criminal cowards. They are. They don't. I mean, how? Yeah, as a little joke. How do you spot a Freemason? You can't. He's behind your back talking shit. You know what I mean? You can never ever spot a Freemason. Do you know what I mean? And you won't unless you do. I can spot one. Now I'm like that. See, as soon as it's just a joke. You know what I mean? You know, but you won't notice it because you don't look for it. You know what I mean? You don't train for it. I've trained myself. You know, I've had to detrain myself because I see it. Do you know what I mean? Silly little hanky dancers and, you know, all your little, my temples falling in on my head and all that sort of thing. Stamp your foot 3 times. What's this? Do you know what I mean? Omega, Alpha and all that crap. Do you know what I mean? Done all their rituals. You know what I mean? 6,000, 7,000 words. That's all it is. You know what I mean? You know, all these little things. Do you know what I mean? I've been doing this decades, but this is what I'm saying. Freemasons are invisible terrorists within the local community, and they are. They're the ones that deal in the drugs. Go follow any drug dealer, and you'll find it goes to a Masonic lodge. Do you know what I mean? And you'll see they could clear up like crime within 24 hours, and they could believe it. You know what I mean? They run the taxi services. You know, you never see a taxi get to bus. They're the ones who are running the drugs to A to B. You know what I mean? Do you ever see it? Would you think a hearse would get pulled over? Of course it won't. You know what I mean? But if you run the hearse and you're running a drug business, who's going to pull a hearse over? Do you see what I mean? Forget the hearses. What about ambulances? Do you know what I mean? Do you see what I'm saying? This is what they run, you see? It doesn't take a lot, do it? You know, you got the lights coming on, boom, boom, coming down at whatever. Don't take a lot, do it? Think about it. You know, and you got your ports sewn up with your little Freemasons, you know, like here, this port here, you know. Most of them on the strike were bloody Freemasons, you know what I mean? The strike at Birdseye, when that was open here, that was a bloody run by Freemasons, do you know what I mean? I remember that distinctly, you know what I mean? So it weren't like, you know, most of them were scared because it was run by Freemasons. Gone now though, isn't it? Hey, what a mistake you Masons made on that, you know. That's what I mean, crazy stuff. But that's what they do, you see. They're in. See, so when there's strikes and things like that, it's not to do with anything. It's to do with Freemasonry all the time, always. That's it. I've got a name, Danielle. Now watch this to see if I can get a Danielle. And what I did, I found out about her, Danielle Westbrook, right? Right, and I'm going to go into it too much, right? Because like I said, I want to move on to the old goat ritual. Do you know what I mean? You know, it's shush interview, yeah. Now the reason I called it is they shush up, and that's what it's all about. But if you watch this video, what I made personally myself, right? Okay. See, she got taken somewhere, right? And she needed to sign a form to keep her own privacy or personal to herself. Does any of that ring true? Sorry, I just pressed the button wrong again. Bloody hell, I'm new to this. And for someone with a big mouth, why does she keep quiet and shush? You know what I mean? Would the BBC contract be gone? You see what I mean? So so basically, if she speaks out, that BBC contract that she's got would be gone. See, she wouldn't be working. So again, like I said, they threat, they do this, they do that, right? And who in power got her statement and has kept shush about it? Someone got her statement at the BBC and kept shush about it. Who? Why hasn't it come to light? Of course it wouldn't come to light. And her future children and grandchildren threatened with murder. Of course they were. Do you know what I mean? That's what they do. They threaten you with, you know, in today's, you know, it's future children. Do you know what I mean? They kill you. You know what I mean? That's what they do, or hound you, you know. And this is what they do. Where it threaten me, because this is really what they need to do. Keep people like her shush. Yeah, that is, you know, and she knows her kids and her are in danger. What could she have told Bryony, and what really worried them about that? Do you know what I mean? These are the questions I want to ask her personally. She was taken out of her house just before she was meant to marry Brian, yeah? Where did these people take her and put her? And was it somewhere she really didn't want to be for a long time? And it was somewhere where she didn't want to be for so long. So where did these people have the power to take her out of the house just before she was meant to meet to marry Brian? Yeah, they put her somewhere. She don't fucking know where. Neither do, you know, anyone. You know what I mean? And how? Where was it for a long time? She didn't want to be there. And who can or has the power to kidnap someone like that? Do you know what I mean? I don't know. That's what I mean. And also, who did she have to sign the house over to? The BBC, the corrupt criminals, the Freemasons, you know. And why does she have to be careful in what she says, or she wouldn't ever be able to work again in the industry? This is all what she says. And Brian, from what I could tell, is now a TI, which he is, and a vomit. That's a victim of Masonic ill treatment, yeah. He lost his job, do you know what I mean? He's been called crazy by people. Same old stalking tactics, do you know what I mean? Yeah. But just out of interest, Brian did get called a shill by another stalker, you know. Trouble is, you see, people, like I said, you know, people make groups up, you know, and different, you know, pretend they're victims and that. I'm not saying this lady is or not. I don't know her, and I don't know Brian, yeah. I know Brian is because he shouts out, you know, and everything he does is shouted out in the right way, you know. But like I said, you get two the same, even though they're both victims. They so distrust people, or so distrust, you know, because this is what Freemasonry do. You don't trust anyone, do you know what I mean? Because you get, you know, they betray you and betray you and betray you, and you don't know who's involved and who's this and who's that, so you don't betray. Do you know what I mean? That's why I'm isolated, do you know what I mean? Because I don't know who to trust, do you know what I mean? And that's what they want, you know. And that's just, then you get two people that really should be friends that are more than likely scared, you know, because they think they're working on the other team, do you know what I mean? And that's what happened, you know. But yeah, so read her story, Sharon Ann Kilby's, you know, another guy, you know. But Sharon Ann Kilby has got a list of shills, do you know what I mean? Again, shills, I don't know, it's like, I don't know what they are. But again, you can download the interview here. It's my personal snip of the interview. And then again, it's Brian Harvey, the Red Room, yeah, which is where all the paedophiles are. This is why he got gang stalked, yeah. And he's been staying in for years, do you know what I mean? Years and years, man. This is what they do. They make you scared to go out, do you know what I mean? And then funnily enough, when I'd done this interview, a few weeks later, I thought I'd just go for a look. And then this is what I see, look. Shh, the shush. Straight on her, you know what I mean? Straight away, she's doing the Masonic shush. Do you know what I mean? And you just can't make it up. That's her profile picture as well. Shh. You know what I mean? Of course she's going to shush. She is pure Masonically programmed, this girl. Do you know what I mean? And she shushed up. And she shushed up. I don't blame her. Do you know what I mean? Because she's in danger. You know what I mean? But this is Sharon Zaki, yeah, taking a stand against Freemasonry. So you think, you know, this girl here is saying it for nothing? Of course she ain't. You know what I mean? She knows they're corrupt, you know what I mean? But this is the shills, you know. She's got, like I said, she's got Brian Harvey in the shills, Doyle Shaman. I don't know who these are, please. I don't even think, you know, I haven't gone through these. But these are shills, do you know what I mean? But like I said, you know, you never know who is a shill and who a trust. This is the bloody trouble with it, do you know what I mean? Yeah. But I say her and Brian both ain't, you know what I mean? You know, the murderer Jeffrey McDonald, come over, you know. This is what they do, the war on shit, you know, all good information, you know. Just come over and read it. It's there, you know, in black and white. I think I downloaded a bit of that video. I'm going to just give you a little blimp on that.
15 million, 20 million people watching.
Right, listen.
Did you think the more successful you become, the more you would forget about your pain?
I just thought it was going to stop now.
This is where these questions come from.
But I just knew that I was a famous person that wasn't going to be led into their circle to behave the way they did. And I think also that for me is quite, now looking back at it now, 30 years on, and with what's come to light in the press about all these people all over America, England, everywhere, what goes on. You know, I'm actually probably one of the dangerous people that they could have abused because I've got a big mouth.
Got a big mouth, but she doesn't should. She should. Listen.
You know, I'm not a person. I've written 2 books, both been bestsellers. I've never named and shamed anybody I've dated, been out with, and I'm the same about my abuse. I would never name shame. I've got every right to, but where's that going to get me? You know, and where's that going to get my children? Where's that going to get their children or their grandchildren? It's not.
See, their children, their children.
People that are in the right
she
position,
knows.
You know, I've given my statement to people that are in a position of power now that are doing something about it. I've got it, and that's enough for me. But
who's got it?
I think just I want to keep that personal.
Were you ever threatened or anything to keep your mouth shut?
I've had a lot of that stuff done to me. I've been taken out of my house. Yeah. When I was with Brian Harvey, I got taken out of my house. And he came home and he never saw me again.
See that?
It was a very, very tough time. Very tough time.
Freemasonry, power.
Luckily, Brian was never abused, but there was a price on his head. And I was there married to him, and the people that had the price on his head, they wanted him in that circle. And they thought I'd tell him what I knew. So they took me out of the picture for a long while.
Yeah, you knew what they knew, didn't you? See what I mean? She knew.
I'd sold my house and everything.
All she's done is kept shh, because she know they'll
Well,
obliterate
people call
her.
me crazy, and it's not. It's really not, and I've got a lot of love in my heart for Brian, always will. And all these trophies.
I'm going to leave that there, yeah? If you want to come and see it and hear it, you can, yeah? But basically, she's, you know, again, she's, you know, she says, she tells you who the Freemasons are, basically, when she talks. That's not the full interview yet, by the way. You can go watch it. It's on YouTube. Just search it up and you'll hear it, you know, because obviously Brian McFadden, you know, who she worked with in EastEnders, goes, oh, don't you miss drinking with all the gangsters? Do you know what I mean? Yeah, and having the fun and all that, you know. And she go, no, I don't. But you know, so the gangsters run the BBC. Do you see what I mean? And they run Anglia, they run Channel 4. That's who run. And if you do your research, yeah, to the Krays, yeah, who they looked after, the MPs and the parties they were thrown for, the people in control, yeah. And then you search up Wilf Pine, look his book up. That's called The Englishman and the Gangster, where he went to America and he introduced the Krays to. The American mafia to the Krays, yeah. Right. Obviously, there's a lot more to this and that, but you know, I'm just telling you to research it, yeah. And if you look up Wilf Pine and read his book, yeah, you'll see that he gives. Now, he used to run Black Sabbath, yeah. Is it Black Sabbath? Ozzy Osbourne, yeah. I think his band. He used to run a load of bands anyway, yeah. So that's the music industry there, okay. And then he sold them on to other gangsters, all right, yeah. Because it's in his book, you know what I mean? He tells you blatant, you know what I mean, yeah? But if you go back to where the Krays, you know, and the Kray gang and the firms in them days, yeah, you had Barbara Windsor, movie star, famous, well-known, Diana Dawes. They used to all go out with gangsters. Do you see what I'm saying? So they were the ones that ran all the, you know, and then if you go like to America and you look at the stories of whatever, you know, you see, you know, whether it's The Godfather or whatever, they tell you who the gangsters are. Do you know what I mean? Who runs the, you know, I want him to be in this film. I want him to be in this, you know what I mean? You know, so they run all the TV shows. Do you know what I mean? And they're the, you know, they're the protection. Do you know what I mean? For everyone and everything. Do you know what I mean? And they're high-ranking Freemasons. You know, and they're dangerous people. You know, they're not. You know, they're the ones that killed Diana. You know, Lady Diana. Do you know what I mean? The one when the ambulance turned up, that was Freemasons. Do you know what I mean? You know, so it's just madness. Do you know what I mean? But this is what they do. You see, so they can shut everyone up. You know. It's crazy. The people surrounding, you know, our presidents as Freemasons. Do you know what I mean? You know, our MPs, our, you know, whatever. You know what I mean? They're all scared. Do you know what I mean? They know. You know, that shows throughout history. And like I said, when you get close and you're going to take that power away from them, Yeah, they're going to kill everyone. Trust me, they're going to raise up. They're going to be the first ones, the biggest army you'll ever see, Freemasonry, and they're going to wipe you all out. You know what I mean? And they're going to have their aprons on, and they're going to shoot you all in the head. You know what I mean? And then they're going to rewrite history again, and they'll be forgotten about again. And then you get people that'll be, you know, stalked and harassed, and they'll come awake again, then they'll do it again. You know what I mean? But look, this is, here we go again. Look, Masonic Orphan for Schools, Dublin. Masonic, see, Jachan and Boaz. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? So yeah, so there it is. And there's the seal. Masonic Female Orphan, by the way. You know what I mean? I don't know how to enlarge this picture, sorry. So come at the forum and look. That's in 1867. So you think how many years they've been running schools and orphans. Yeah, and I'll show you in my last video that their sort of charity work. The public fund it to get the school going, and once the public funds it, they then get the option to fill the school up with their own people. You can't beat it, can you? They're not daft, are they? Eh? So they use your public funds, yeah, from the government or your taxes to build these schools, and then they fill the schools up with their own Masonic people they choose on, because they're the top of the board. You know what I mean? Been doing it years. You know what I mean? I'll show you that in the last video. Yeah, our Police Square Club of Connecticut. That's in America. Look, Police Square Club. You can't beat it. Do you know what I mean? There you go. Organised December 1924. Is that 26? That's in 1926. Meetings monthly. Do you know what I mean? And you think that ain't there today? Of course it is. Do you know what I mean? That's just one. You know, this is just one USA bloody police force. Do you know what I mean? It's there in black and white. You know what I mean? They run it all. They run it all. They are the Arabs. See, India. Look, the Indian Shrine Club. Arab Patrol Certificate of Appreciation. This is in 19 thingy. Like I said, Shriners are in UK everywhere. So, you know, just because the Shriners are, you know, are more open and proliferant. Oh, I can't get that bloody word. Right. But yeah, so they're more proliferant in America. That don't mean to say they in the UK, because they are. They're in every other country. You get Shriners here. They just don't go out with the feathers on and brag about it. Do you know what I mean? Same as the Order of the Buffaloes and all of that malarkey, but it's all in the forum anyway. And then again we've got this here, Order of the Eastern Star. That's in Scotland. See, I can't enlarge that. I don't know how to do it. You'll have to come and download the pictures to enlarge them. Oh yeah, I've done it myself. Look, hey, yeah, look, over the British dominions. Yeah, look, having jurisdiction over the British dominions except on the continent of North America. Imagine that. Yeah, the Supreme Grand Chapter. Remember, there's chapters and there's major lodges. The Supreme Grand Chapter of Scotland, Order of the Eastern Star, having jurisdiction over the British dominions. Right, it's got jurisdiction over the British dominions except on the continent of North America. Now, would you remember that, eh? Look. To the members of the order were whoever dispensed readings. Do you know what I mean? Then obviously you got the star and who's signed it, the Grand Patron, the Grand Secretary and the Grand Matron. Helen and William Bryce. Now there's always a man, apparently. They always have a man standing with their meetings, do you know what I mean? So, and I don't know what they call him or whatever, and I'm just like sort of researching that. I haven't done a lot on women. I've been more mainly men, but there's always a man that attends their lodges or something, you know, or overseers it or something. Overseer, yeah. So yeah, oh, there's two men on there. I think is that Adam Horn, I think. So that's two there, yeah. So I know they have men oversee their lodge or their meetings, do you know what I mean? And then this one, you got the Supreme Grand Royal Arch. There's so many bloody, I'll tell you, they've got so many names for themselves and so many ranks. Do you know what I mean? It's just unreal, these people. There's the seal, look, Grand Royal Arch of Ireland again. You know what I mean? Notice the eye, the pyramid, look. Oh yeah, and that's about. Remember I said they always stand on a plinth. Is it a plinth? Did I call it a platform? Innit? Yeah, plinth or a platform. But there you go. And again, read it. You know, it tells you. You know, they're so powerful, it's unreal. Again, look, here we go. This is Knight's attempt. Look at the octagon. Now you've got to work. Remember what I said with Switzerland, yeah, and the octagon, yeah. Look at Fritz, yeah, which is here. Look, it's Switzerland. I'll show you what they're all about. Look, Switzerland's stolen generation. Look it up, yeah. Where they just, and this has gone back in the 80s. This is, do you know what I mean? Look, stolen generations, and you can go see it, yeah. You know what I mean? 1973. Sorry, I said 80, didn't I? But have a look. Oh, that's Australian. Yeah, go look at the Australian ones as well. The stolen generation of kids there as well. This is what the government do to you. Yeah, they can do it, and they'll do it again and again and again. Yeah, but yeah, have a look, and all they do is give an apology, and they'll do it again, and they'll apologise again. You know, it'll be 100 years from now. It's going to be an apology to your kids. Oh, we're sorry, we give them a, you know, a jab, but we didn't know it was going to give them a 3 eyes or something like that, and you'll just get a silly little apology. Do you know what I mean? 100 years, it don't matter. You know what I mean? Like I said, soon, you know, that like the war, you know, that's all forgotten about every time. The First World War, no one hardly talks about it now, do they? Do you know what I mean? Any sort of war, really. Only what they want us to know about it. But yeah, look at the stolen children in Switzerland, and the, oh, sorry, I've gone back again, and the stolen children in Australia. You know what I mean? I thought I'd get that one up because of the old, you know. But again, look it up, and like I said, it's all to do with the octagon. Yeah, look up Chats Fritz, look, founder of the French Legion. Yeah, this is where all the Freemasons go. I'll show you last week a little bit, yeah, and then you can look about, and you just walk about your town and you'll see it. This guy tells you everything you need to know about Freemasons and the pharaohs, yeah, because that's where it all come from. You know what I mean? I think the pharaohs were gypsies, and you know, I ain't going to go into that. He'll show you the police, look, the Octagon police. Do you know what I mean? In America. Search for Octagon, the Empire of Darkness. Yeah, search up, and it shows you, you know, the badges. Do you know what I mean? The police badges and everything. I mean, yeah. But he goes around Europe, yeah, and that's where the pharaohs are, and he puts it all together perfect. Do you know what I mean? Seen Ross, that's it. Seen Horace, baby. But yeah, seen Horace, and you can just watch. You know, I go from that. You know what I mean? Go through the play. You know what I mean? And you just go through it. You know what I mean? There's 26 there. There he is there. He does make me laugh. You know, he's a good, you know, he does do some really good videos. But again, like I said, there's two channels. I think there's one here. This is another one where he's gone through, and Sean Haross. He's got Sean Haross, and then he's got Fritz. Yeah, I can't pronounce that. Chats Frats, but he's also under there now as CIA or something, and you'll pick him up anyway. But look at him. Order, you know, Octagon Empire. You know what I mean? Switzerland, that's where the pharaohs went, the Freemasons, yeah. Okay, the Octagon Freemasonry, yeah, which was the Knight Templars, do you know what I mean? Which is just the same, but they're just Freemasons anyway. But look, this is the prior of the Order of St. John of Jerusalem, Palestine, Rhodes and Malta. See, these people ain't gone nowhere. Do you know what I mean? These are triple tall crosses, these are. I want you to recognise them. Remember what I said? You know what I mean? In my last videos, I'm trying to keep it simple. You know, I can go, you know, and go into it all, and you know, but I'm not doing that. These people do that. Like I said, there's better people at this than me. You know what I mean? I'm not very good at talking. I'm just giving you basics. I'm trying to put a little bit more information your way on a simpler level than start going, you know, skull and bones and all them sort of stuff. You know what I mean? Not that I could tell you much about them anyway. I try and keep on the low level if there is a low level, but you know, they're all the same Freemasons. I'm on about my low level. But yeah, these people are here, look, you know what I mean? Yeah, Order of Ireland, given the chancery of the Order of Dublin is on this day in the year of our Lord. Trust me, these are all, this is what I'm saying, it's all chivalry or whatever that's bloody called, and it stands, you know what I mean? Order of the Octagon, the pharaohs, yeah? You know what I mean? Look, United Religious and Military. See, they're military, right? Orders of the Temple and Hospital in Ireland. See, they run the hospitals, they run the military. Do you see what I mean? And the temple is where you go to pray for something, isn't it? Yeah, so what are they praying in the temple? Eh? But there you go. See, look, the grace of God and the suffrages of the brethren. Nothing about the profane, just the brethren themselves, yeah? You know what I mean? The soldiers of Christ, Order St. John. See, they're soldiers. These are soldiers. You know, the great Vice Chancellor, John White. You know what I mean? Obviously that's his rank, two triple tours, you see. But come and see it. It's in my forum, in the thingy. You know, is the Mason vows again. You know, this will be the 5 points of fellowship, isn't it? Yeah, I think. Yeah, is it the 5 points? Yeah, I think it's the 5 points of fellowship. This one. You know, and you got the man of Mount Moriah. You know, but I'll tell you.